Everybody wants to know when Moshiach is going to come. In fact, if you had that information, you could probably make a lot of money off the Jewish community. Almost 2,000 years ago, there was a famous sage called Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi. And he used to have conversations with Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet, even though, of course, Elijah had already passed away long before. But as we know, Eliyahu Hanavi comes to visit from time to time and engages and interacts with people here on earth. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi says to Eliyahu, he says, tell me, you're in on this. You're supposed to be the person who heralds and announces Moshiach's arrival. Please tell me, when will Moshiach come? So the prophet Eliyahu says to Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi, he says, why are you asking me? Why don't you go ask him? And he says, well, if I knew where to find him, I would obviously ask him. So Eliyahu Hanavi says, I'll tell you where to find him, and go ask him. You will find him at the gate of the big city. The commentaries tell us that that is the city of Rome. You will find him sitting outside of the gate. He sits together with people who are poor and dejected, people who suffer physical ailments. That's where you'll find him. So Rabbi Yehoshua says, how do I identify him in that crowd? Eliyahu says, you'll notice that he is somewhat different in his conduct from everybody else. Everybody who sits out there has some kind of a skin ailment. Perhaps it might have been the biblical tzora'as, that skin disease that the Torah talks about. And you'll notice that everybody else who sits there, they have to treat their wounds on a daily basis. So they remove all of the bandages, they treat all of their wounds, and then reapply all of the bandages. When you notice a person who takes off one bandage, treats one wound, replaces that bandage, and then moves to the next wound, then you'll know that it's Moshiach, because he's on call. At any minute, Hashem could send him to redeem the Jewish people, and therefore you can't have the delay of dressing his wounds. So Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi goes, and he identifies, he finds this man Moshiach, and he says to him, Moshiach, when are you coming? And Moshiach says to him, today. Well, you can imagine how excited Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi was. He was so incredibly excited. He goes back home, he waits, nothing happens, as we very well know. So the next time that Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi sees Eliyahu Hanavi, the prophet Elijah, he says to him, I met Moshiach and he lied to me. He said he's coming today and he didn't come. So Eliyahu says, no, you have to understand. He was paraphrasing a term, an expression that the Torah uses. Hayoim, today, im bekoiloi tishma'u. If you listen to Hashem's voice, that means to say that Moshiach is ready anytime. The delay is not on his part, the delay is on our part. Are we ready for him to come? So that's the overall message of this particular story. There are quite a lot of interesting details about the story that we can unpack. The first of which, just for now, is, isn't it intriguing that Moshiach is at the gate of Rome? And of course, if Moshiach is at the gate of Rome, why does Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi have it out with Elijah the prophet? He should have just gone back to the gate of Rome and said, Moshiach, you lied to me. Clearly, obviously, this is allegorical. Rome at that time was the superpower of the world. Rome, as we know, is the nation of Edom, the descendants of Esav, the twin brother of Yaakov, and the nation of Edom is the nemesis of the Jewish people throughout history. That is significant. Where will you find Moshiach? Not ironically in the middle of Jerusalem, but actually in a place where there's anti-Semitism or opposition to Judaism. But specifically, you will find him at what is called the Gate of Rome. And the commentaries tell us that the Gate of Rome means when the Edomite dynasty is on its way out. The gate represents the exit. So when you see that incredible superpower called Edom, who has been a succession of empires over the course of 2,000 years, when you see that that superpower becomes weak and starts to fall apart at the seams, that's when you know we're sitting at the time of Moshiach. Many people will tell you that Rome became the Christian world, which eventually became Western civilization, and perhaps today is represented by Europe and the United States, which of course is a lot of food for thought.